Welcome! If you are coming across my channel for the first time, please like and subscribe. Love you all so much. Now let's get into the lecture of the day. Grow 10 kilograms of sweet potatoes in a 20-liter bucket. Step-by-step balcony method. Look at this. 1 bucket, 1 balcony. And these are the results. Most people believe you need a garden, a farm, or a large land to grow real food. That is not true. What you need is the right knowledge. Today, I'm going to teach you step by step how one 20-liter plastic bucket on your balcony can produce up to 10 kilograms of sweet potatoes, not with expensive equipment, not with chemicals, with biology, root science, and nutrient timing. If you stay until the end of this video, you will understand something that most gardeners, even experienced ones, get completely wrong about sweet potatoes. And that one thing is why most people harvest small, thin, disappointing tubers instead of big, heavy, dense ones. Let us begin. Food prices are rising every year. Urban space is shrinking. More people are living in apartments and small houses with no garden space, and yet the need to grow food, affordable, clean, nutritious food, has never been more important. Here is a fact most people do not know. Sweet potatoes are one of the most calorie-dense staple crops on Earth. Per square meter of growing space, sweet potatoes produce more edible energy than many cereal crops, including corn and wheat. That is why they are grown across Africa, Asia, and Latin America. Well, that is why the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations recognizes sweet potatoes as a critical food security crop. And here is the best part. They grow extremely well in containers. A 20-liter bucket on your balcony is not a limitation. When you manage it correctly, it becomes a controlled tuber production system. Low cost, small space, big yield. That is what this lecture is about. Please subscribe to this channel, leave a comment below this video, and visit often. Thank you very much. Before you plant anything, you must understand how sweet potatoes actually grow, because if you do not understand the plant, you cannot manage it well. Sweet potatoes belong to the species called Ipomoea batatas, and here is the first important fact. Sweet potatoes do not grow from seeds in normal farming practice. They grow from vine cuttings called slips. A slip is a healthy section of vine cut from a mature sweet potato plant with nodes along its stem. Now here is the most important biological fact in this entire lecture. Write this down. Sweet potatoes form their tubers on adventitious roots, not the main taproot. What does that mean? It means the storage roots, the tubers you eat, grow out of nodes along the buried section of the vine. Every node you bury in the soil is a potential tuber formation point. This is why loose soil matters. When soil is loose, adventitious roots can expand freely and swell into large tubers. When soil is hard or compacted, the roots cannot expand. The tubers stay thin and twisted. This is also why a bucket works so well. A 20-liter bucket does 3 things naturally. Number 1, it concentrates warmth. A plastic absorbs heat from sunlight. Sweet potatoes need soil temperature between 24 and 30 degrees Celsius for fast tuber initiation. A bucket provides this naturally. Number 2, it limits unnecessary root spread. When roots cannot travel far sideways, the plant focuses its energy on bulking up the tubers it already has. Number 3, it allows you to control nutrition precisely. You decide exactly what goes into that soil. No outside contamination, no unpredictable ground conditions. Container restriction, when managed correctly, increases tuber density. This is not guesswork. This is controlled horticulture. Now let us talk about selecting your planting material. This is where many beginners make their first mistake. They plant whatever vine they can find without checking quality, and then they wonder why the harvest is poor. Here is the truth. The quality of your slip determines at least 50% of your final yield before you even put it in the soil. A good slip must be 20 to 30 centimeters long. It must have at least 3 to 4 visible nodes along the stem. The leaves must be green, firm, and healthy. The stem must not be woody or dried out. There must be no signs of disease, no spots, no discoloration, no soft sections. Why are nodes so important? Remember what we just learned. Tubers form at buried nodes. If your cutting has 4 nodes and you bury 3 of them, you have 3 potential tuber formation zones in one slip. If your cutting only has 1 node, you have 1 zone. More nodes buried equals more tubers produced. This is not complicated. It is biology. Choose your slips carefully. If you are getting them from your own mature plant, I'll cut from healthy vines early in the morning. Plant within 24 hours of cutting to preserve moisture in the stem. If you notice any yellowing, softness, or unusual spots on the vine, do not plant it. You cannot fix bad genetics with good soil. Start right. Please subscribe, like, and comment below the video. Thank you very much. Now we prepare the container, and I want you to pay close attention to this chapter because most people treat the bucket preparation as unimportant. It is not unimportant. This is root engineering. Take your 20-liter plastic bucket. The first thing you must do is create drainage holes at the bottom. Make at least 6 to 8 holes, each about 1 centimeter in diameter. You can use a drill, a heated metal rod, or any sharp tool that creates a clean hole. Why is drainage this important? Here is the science. Our sweet potato roots need oxygen in the root zone to function. When water sits at the bottom of a container with no drainage, it pushes out the oxygen in the soil. Without oxygen, root respiration stops. The roots begin to rot. And a rotting root zone means 0 tuber production. Drainage holes are not just for water removal, they are oxygen management. Now let us build the soil mix. The ideal mix for container sweet potatoes is this: 40% loamy soil. This provides structure and base nutrition. 30% well-decomposed compost. This feeds the plant slowly over time. 20% coarse sand or rice husk. This creates air pockets so roots can breathe and expand. 10% vermicompost. This is worm castings. It is extremely rich in nutrients, has natural antibacterial properties, and improves soil microbiology. I mix these together thoroughly before filling the bucket. Do not just layer them without mixing. An uneven soil mix creates uneven root distribution. Fill the bucket to about 80% capacity. Leave space at the top for vine growth and additional soil top dressing later. Now here is an additional technique many successful growers use. Place a thin layer of green manure, decomposed kitchen scraps like vegetable peels, fruit waste, and leafy material, in the middle layer of your soil. As this material decomposes further inside the bucket, it releases nutrients directly into the root zone where the plant needs them most. This is not a trick. This is localized, slow-release nutrition. Loose soil is not optional. Compacted soil produces thin, ugly, low-weight tubers. Loose, aerated, well-drained soil produces large, heavy, dense tubers. The bucket is just a container. The soil mix is the production system. Your bucket is ready. Your slips are selected. Now we plant. And how you plant determines everything. Do not push the slip straight down into the soil vertically. Insert it at an angle, roughly 45 degrees. Why? When you plant at an angle, more nodes make contact with the warm, moist soil near the surface. This increases the number of adventitious roots that form. More adventitious roots means more potential tuber sites. Bury at least 3 nodes below the soil surface. Press the soil gently around the stem to ensure good contact. Air pockets around the stem prevent root formation. Good soil contact is essential. How many slips per 20-liter bucket? The correct answer is 3 to 4 slips maximum. Do not plant more than this. Here is the reason. Every slip competes for the same pool of nutrients, water, and root space inside that bucket. If you plant 6 or 7 slips, each plant gets less than it needs. The result is many small, underdeveloped tubers instead of fewer large, heavy ones. 3 to 4 slips is the balance point between root zone competition and maximum coverage. After planting, water thoroughly, but be precise. Water until the soil is evenly moist, not soaking wet, not dry. Push your finger 5 centimeters into the soil. If it feels moist at that depth, do not water again yet. Here is an important fact for the first 30 days. Do not over-fertilize with nitrogen at this stage. Nitrogen promotes green, leafy vine growth. In the first phase, you want the plant to build roots, not vines. Excessive nitrogen early on redirects plant energy upward into leaves and away from the underground tuber development you want. Balanced nutrition from your soil mix is enough for the first 30 days. Please subscribe, like, and comment below the video. Thank you very much. This chapter is where most people fail, and it is the most important chapter in this entire lecture. Sweet potato growth happens in two distinct phases. Phase 1 is the vine growth phase. This runs from day 0 to approximately day 30. During this time, the plant is building its root system, establishing itself in the soil, and growing vines and leaves. Phase 2 is the tuber bulking phase. This starts around day 25 to 35 and continues until harvest at 90 to 120 days. During Phase 2, the plant begins to store carbohydrates in the adventitious roots, and those roots begin to swell into tubers. Here is the critical error most people make. They keep feeding nitrogen throughout the entire growing cycle. Nitrogen promotes leaf and vine growth, that is Phase 1 nutrition. But when Phase 2 begins and tubers start forming, continuing to push nitrogen tells the plant to keep growing vines instead of filling tubers. You end up with a beautiful, lush green plant and almost no tubers underneath. Around day 25 to 30, you must shift your nutrition strategy, reduce nitrogen, increase potassium and phosphorus. Why potassium specifically? Here is the science. Potassium is the element that regulates carbohydrate transport inside the plant. When the leaves produce sugars through photosynthesis, potassium is the nutrient that moves those sugars downward through the stem and into the roots. More potassium equals more sugar transport to roots equals bigger, denser, heavier tubers. This is not an opinion. This is plant physiology. Good organic sources of potassium that you can use. Wood ash. Apply a small amount to the soil surface and water in. Do not overuse. A small handful per bucket is enough. Banana peel compost. Dry banana peels, grind them, and mix with water. Banana peels are extremely rich in potassium and decompose quickly. Compost tea made from mature kitchen compost. Pour this around the base of the plant every 10 to 14 days during the tuber bulking phase. Pureed papaya mixed with water. Papaya contains natural enzymes and trace minerals that support root development and nutrient uptake. At around day 25, when you can see the vines growing strongly and the plant looks established, that is your signal. And shift to potassium feeding. Do it consistently every 10 to 14 days until 2 weeks before harvest. This is the tuber trigger. This is how you push yield toward 10 kilograms in one bucket. Now let us talk about the daily management of your plant. These are the factors that decide whether your tubers reach their full potential. Sunlight first. Sweet potatoes require a minimum of 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight every day. This is not flexible. Sunlight is the raw energy source that drives photosynthesis. Photosynthesis produces the sugars. Those sugars travel to the roots and become tubers. Less sunlight equals less sugar production equals smaller tubers. If you are on a balcony in the northern hemisphere, position your bucket on the south-facing side. This side receives the most direct sunlight throughout the day. If you are in the southern hemisphere, use the north-facing side. If your balcony is shaded by a wall or building for part of the day, track when direct light reaches the space and position your bucket in the brightest zone. Also elevate the bucket slightly off the ground, a small stand, a few bricks, or even 2 pieces of wood underneath. This improves airflow around the drainage holes, prevents drainage blockage, and keeps the base of the container at a slightly higher temperature. Now watering. Water deeply but infrequently. What does that mean? When you water, pour enough water so it flows out of the drainage holes at the bottom. This ensures the entire root zone receives moisture. Then do not water again until the top 3 to 5 centimeters of soil feels dry to the touch. Here is a critical fact about watering and tuber quality. Inconsistent watering heavily one day, then leaving the plant dry for many days, then watering heavily again, causes cracking in the tubers. Cracked tubers store poorly and lose weight. Regular, deep, consistent watering produces smooth skin, dense tubers with better flavor and longer shelf life. One more important point about vine management. As the vines grow long, you may be tempted to bury new trailing vine sections into more soil. Do not do this randomly. Here is why. When you bury more nodes from trailing vines, new tubers begin to form at those buried points, but there are now too many tubers competing for the same nutrition inside one bucket. The result is many tiny tubers instead of fewer large ones. Prune the excess vines lightly. Keep the plant focused. Focused energy produces focused yield. See music. Please subscribe, like, and comment below the video. Thank you very much. Now I want to teach you 2 low-cost treatments that protect your plant and improve your yield using things already in your kitchen. The first is garlic. Garlic contains a compound called allicin. Allicin has natural antibacterial, antifungal, and insect-repelling properties. This is scientifically documented. Here is how to use it. Crush 2 to 3 cloves of garlic and mix with 1 liter of water. Let it sit for 30 minutes so the allicin is fully released into the water. Then use this water to spray the leaves and wet the soil surface around the base of the plant. Do this once every 2 weeks during the growing season. This treatment does 3 things. It repels common insects and pests that attack sweet potato vines. It reduces fungal activity in the root zone. It stimulates natural plant immunity, and it costs almost nothing. The second treatment is egg water. Eggs are rich in calcium. Calcium does several things for plants. It strengthens cell walls, making the plant more resistant to physical damage and disease. It improves soil structure by helping soil particles bind properly. It neutralizes excess acidity in the soil. Here is how to use it. Crack 2 eggs into 5 liters of water. Mix thoroughly. Use this to water your plants once every 2 to 3 weeks, especially during the tuber bulking phase when the plant needs strong cell development in the growing tubers. These are not tricks. These are functional, low-cost organic treatments that support plant health at every stage. Kitchen resources, applied with knowledge. And we are now at the final stage, the harvest. And how you harvest is just as important as how you plant. Sweet potatoes grown in containers are ready for harvest between 90 and 120 days after planting. Do not guess. Watch for these 3 signs of maturity. Number 1, the lower leaves on the vines begin to yellow and fall off naturally. Number 2, vine growth slows noticeably. The plant stops pushing out new growth aggressively. Number 3, the soil surface feels firm around the base of the vines where tubers have formed and pressed upward. When you see all 3 signs together, your crop is ready. 7 days before you plan to harvest, stop watering completely. This is a critical step. When you stop watering, the plant undergoes mild stress. In response, it concentrates and seals the sugars inside the tubers. This does 3 important things. It improves the flavor of the tubers, making them sweeter and denser. It toughens the skin, which improves storage life after harvest. It reduces water content inside the tuber, which prevents rot during storage. On harvest day, do not dig blindly into the bucket. Tip the entire bucket gently on its side. Let the soil spill out slowly. Use your hands, not a sharp tool, to separate tubers from the soil. Sweet potato skins are thin and bruise easily. Bruised tubers rot faster during storage. Handle them gently, and this is the moment. Heavy, clean, large tubers. From 1 20-liter bucket, from 1 balcony, under optimal management, up to 10 kilograms. This is not magic. This is biology combined with root zone control combined with nutrient timing. Every step in this lecture served one purpose: a maximum energy, directed to the roots, converted into tubers. Please subscribe, like, and comment below the video. Thank you very much. Now think about this. You learned today how 1 20-liter bucket, managed correctly, can produce up to 10 kilograms of sweet potatoes. Now imagine 5 buckets, that is up to 50 kilograms of calorie-dense food, from your balcony, with kitchen waste as fertilizer, with garlic and eggs as plant protection, with science as your farming guide, low cost, small space, high yield, real food security, from home. If this lecture gave you value, please subscribe to this channel and share this video with someone who needs to see it. because the knowledge to grow your own food should be available to everyone. In the next video, I will show you exactly how to double tuber size without increasing your container size. We will go deep into canopy management, root zone temperature control, and mid-season pruning science. You do not want to miss it. Thank you for watching. Now go plant. How many buckets are you starting with? Tell me below. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button and like, please.